For years, we've been obsessed by the dead. There's something about this fear of the unknown that drives us to become obsessed with it. I mean, right now, it's quite popular to be into werewolves and vampires, and I mean, certainly there's a lot of 13-year-old girls out there who get aroused by the idea of vampires, but you'll never be a vampire. But I can guarantee one day, you'll be in a place like this. So I suppose that's why zombies and the like have become so ingrained in our kind of cultural heritage, because they're just like us, just a bit more gooey.
Dead Rising 2 is the game you make it. Imagination is key in this game. Dead Rising 2 could just as easily be a pen and paper RPG with players walking around saying, pick up bin, beat zombie into the ground with bin, repeat. You're never without something to do, and every adventure through the mall or the casinos is fraught with a kind of tension that doesn't seem to exist in other titles at the moment. Of course, this tension comes down to the chance you might walk into and encounter a psycho you're not prepared for, because of some of the most controversial design decisions in the game, which include the total removal of checkpoints, auto-saving, and a time limit stricter than a Catholic nun.
Dead Rising 2 is a game that's not afraid to alienate the player, and in fact at times it can be downright difficult. I mean, the game's combat system, while brilliant for taking on a massive group of zombies, is really, really poor when going toe to toe with one of the game's many bosses. A lot of these encounters end up being just boring and frankly uneventful slugfests. The checkpoint system as well can be a complete frustration. Now, I know I'm not the only poor bastard to have lost well over 2 hours worth of progress because I've been ravaged by zombies from my flesh 2 seconds away from the nearest toilet.
But while these can seem like quite big problems, the game itself has so much swagger and confidence that you'll easily forget about it and you'll soon be bashing in heads and covering the pavement of Las Vegas in gore. Ignoring all the time limits, ignoring the save system, even, dare I say, ignoring the story, Dead Rising 2 is all about finding your own way. Do you want to save survivors? You can. Do you want to uncover the conspiracy that forms the game's main story? You can. Do you want to ignore everything and destroy every zombie within a mile's radius with a boxing glove stuffed full of knives? You can do that too.
There's a chance that Dead Rising 2 might frustrate you. But in my opinion, there's an even bigger chance that it might be the most fun you'll have with any game this year. I think 1 hour with Dead Rising 2 is more frustrating, more entertaining, and just it makes you smile. There's not a moment I've played in this game where I've not been smiling. There's not times when I've turned it on just for a quick half-hour bash at a zombie when I've not sat and laughed about it and told all my pals about it. Is it worth picking up and buying? You're darn tootin'. It's a game that, while it can be flawed, it wears everything on its sleeve. Because of that, and because of how bold it is, because of the swagger, it's a game I actually admire. It's a game that's as bold and as brave as the first game in the series, and I actually can't recommend picking it up enough. And if you don't, you know where you might as well be. Eh?